Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have once again another big update for the PlayStation 5 Pro. We have kind of two interesting topics to go cover throughout this one. Number one, some more of the really big PlayStation 5 proper AAA games made by PlayStation themselves are actually getting some brand new features when it comes to their PlayStation 5 Pro. So I'm going to go kind of break that on down and talk about that. And it kind of seems like right now we're on that pre-press period where pretty much every big game is going to keep on having like one more update and one more update and one more confirmation, where I think it's very safe to assume that probably every PlayStation game will most likely have a very big PlayStation 5 Pro update. I'm going to probably keep on covering this news though, because I think it's fun, so if you guys will enjoy it. And we'll also have an intriguing one too as well for more of the retro games that may also go and have a pretty big bump in standards when it comes to console graphics and everything else. And I think that one's also a pretty neat topic, so we're going to go talk about that as well. So if you guys are ready to start your weekends off fresh and strong, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the PS5 links and all those down below for the affiliate links, so pick them on up if you guys want to. Also subscribe for the 9,000 sub gold dream as well for our PS5 Pro giveaway, and all the bonus links down below. We're going to be checking out Call of Duty as well if you guys are bored tonight, so check that on out. So let's go dive on into it. First and foremost, as you guys have probably just heard me say, right now the PlayStation 5 Pro is now getting some more even brand new patches for Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart, and also Marvel's Spider-Man 2, and they also including some brand new ray tracing features and also brand new toggles. So I'm going to kind of go a little bit more on the technical side for this one, because I think a lot of us, even based on the prior like big announcements and conversations of it, we kind of knew things were going to happen. When it comes to, you know, Spider-Man, we saw the Spider-Man on the PS5 Pro announcement, Ratchet & Clank kind of having a chance to utilize like the quick loading, the ray tracing, the PSSR, all that type of stuff. But it's kind of cool to also see what else is being added on into this. And I do think them adding brand new ray tracing features also kind of shows and highlights the individualism that I guess accentuates out what those features actually are, because every feature kind of is a combination of, I guess, different things. A good example is for ray tracing, where you can have things maybe for like a window, where you have a maybe chance to see your character on the opposite side, or even think like lights, where you have a chance to then go and cast shadows. Think about things like water effects, which allows more actual detail for waters. So it basically has a expansive use of individual, I guess, aspects that make it better. I almost feel like I'm throwing a bunch of random tech words. Well, about the astrophysics of the logic of the colors, they make the thing, like, you know what I mean. By the way, the idea behind is that there is more uses than just broad ray tracing, or you could have individualized ray tracing on every various aspects. So sometimes you can prioritize different aspects to make your game better. A good example is like a horror game. Lighting effects would probably go a lot longer than, say, water. But let's go and say there's a game like, I know it's not in a PS game, but think like Wind Waker. You know, Wind Waker from back in the day, the Zelda game where you're out and traveling the oceans. That would do a lot better in terms of having ray tracing for water effects and the overall environments from like the sun, the lighting, the clouds, etc. So I'm trying to just go and highlight that different games can make better optimized usage for different types of technology. I hope that logic makes sense. Also, once again, I understand that's like a Nintendo game from 20 years ago. Just that was the game I hope most of you guys remember, or at least would know what I'm talking about. So the PlayStation 5 Pro patches for the two games released so far on the base model by Insomniac introduce graphical toggles that allow users to customize their experience further in the vein of PC gaming. I know it's kind of a big deal too as well when it comes to that, because we'll have like basically the PS5 Pro mode, which is better graphics and better frames, versus performance mode versus fidelity mode. So the PS5 Pro patches for Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart and Marvel's Spider-Man 2, which both went live today, introduced new Performance Pro and Fidelity Pro modes, which provide respectively 60 FPS gameplay with the same image quality of the standard Fidelity mode through PSSR and all ray tracing features. So once we kind of known about this, we kind of covered it on the channel, is that the idea is that like they're basically having a better hardware with the AI, and as well as also the better GPU and just overall optimizations, that they're now able to go add brand new modes. We know this has existed. That's not like super special for this video. But what I kind of want to go highlight is the main point that I was talking about, is that certain ray tracing elements can make the individualized games better depending on what they focus on and fine tune on. There's also nothing stopping them from doing everything as well. So basically for this one too, they're saying that 30 FPS gameplay and new ray tracing features, and the new ray tracing features are the top of this video, which can be turned individually to reach higher intermediate frame rates when using VRR and 120 Hz display mode, which also, if you guys do not know, for whatever reason, took me a while as a PC gamer, 120 Hz mode is essentially the refresh rate on your monitor, which means that if you're playing a game at 60 Hz versus 120 Hz, you're getting twice as many basically like reloads of your PC, which which in theory also, like, so a good example for this, and this might be hard to explain if you guys don't know about this, but this is actually being introduced now for PlayStation. My mouse cursor probably looks completely different than yours. So a good example on how to push this is I see about like 60 mouse cursors on my screen. If you guys look in the left monitor in the black, if you guys are maybe seeing this in like a 30 FPS or a different type, like maybe even a 60 FPS, I have 144 hertz on my monitor, you may only see maybe like 20 or so mouse cursors as are going on. How I see it is basically a continuous stream of my mouse perpetually always being in a circle. I literally see every single one of these individual ones because I have 144 frames constantly refreshing. And that's kind of a big thing for the PlayStation 2 as well, where they're now focusing a lot more on the 120 hertz mode, which means if you have a 120 or 144 hertz monitor, that means you can see basically a lot more detail as it's happening, animations wise, etc. So once again, these are big updates regardless for the stability of it and the loading time of it as well. They're also saying the new ray tracing options introduced by the PlayStation 5 Pro Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart patch are both ray tracing reflections and then the ray tracing ambient occlusion. While Marvel's Spider-Man gets ray tracing key light shadows, which uses ray tracing to calculate sun shadows at mid to distance, replacing cascaded shadow maps. And then ray tracing reflections and interiors and ray tracing ambient occlusion. More details on this patch and new options they introduced can be found basically there and there. If you guys want me to do more of a deeper dive, I'm not sure how boring that is or not, but that might be a video topic. But very, very broadly, it's the idea that like, kind of how I was saying, is that every individual game can utilize ray tracing, but ray tracing is like almost a programmable mode. So you can go and prioritize almost anything that you may think is possible. In the future, there's going to probably even be more ray tracing features that we as people don't even know about. So like we may just discover stuff or utilize it maybe better, maybe even for puzzles, maybe even for RNG elements, maybe for hiding things in the maps, whatever it might be, like we can probably come up with some brand new usage, which is cool. But what they're trying to prioritize this is that the environments will have a chance both with PSSR and also for like actual this ray tracing to make the environments look better. So say for Spider-Man, they're talking about like sun shadows. That's basically utilizing, in my opinion, or my understanding, would be like you have a skyscraper in New York City. So that would definitely go and cast different types of shadows that maybe depending on the time of day may go and completely change the angle on where the ray traced light might end up. Basically, once again, making you even more immersed into the game itself as a whole. Phenomenal cool details. Same thing for as well when it comes to just overall general environments. Let's say something explodes, and then say for Ratchet & Clank, then that explosion may also bring more light, which in theory then would go out cascade light effects all throughout the map. And I think that's some of the coolest things I could ever go and say and see when it comes to gaming. I've always been a big fan of ray tracing, and I do think the overall immersion based on it will make this PlayStation 5 Pro even cooler and even nicer. We also have had also other big updates too for The Last of Us and Alan Wake. If you guys want more kind of, I guess, in-depth details, let me know. I would love to kind of try to break down ray tracing as a concept and kind of maybe react to some stuff or showcase up some stuff. Let me know if that's something you guys would want in the comment section down below, and subscribe. But either way, brand new updates and brand new individualized updates just for the PS5 Pro. Very cool to see. Now, a little really quick video too as well. We're not only seeing the PS5 Pro get updates for these ongoing games. I made a video on this talking about this for Horizon a little bit, but the PS5 Pro is also now getting even older updated versions of games, like even PS1 classic games. And this is why it's gonna be cool, because you're getting better specs on the based on the PS5 Pro, but as well, you also can still have these same like ray tracing, all these ambient inclusion, and these big fancy words or PSSR, even in older games, which can still make them seem better. So right now, a 1997 PS1 game is set to return this year, and it'll basically be upgraded to as well, even for the PS5 Pro. So these are some of the older school games too as well. You guys may have never heard of this too, but I've heard of it myself. Croc. Now this isn't like the big major topic of the video, which is why like, you know, some more on the tail end of it. But like this is like also games that based on like the world, the environment, or even just utilizing AI upskilling to make it easier for the developers to port old school retro games, which is also a special thing, which I may want to go separate into a separate video as well. But like the idea behind it is that all these random map environments and textures can basically be very copy pasted by utilizing PSSR, and that just basically makes the AI able to go and recreate and develop these games a lot better. If you have something like this, it's very easy just to copy and paste. It doesn't really matter if you change it or not, or like these types of walls in the background. So utilizing things like the PSSR and AI kind of makes it easier for the overall experience for people. Like I think it's nice. I think it's cool. And the PS5 Pro can also help developers and even bring back and make older games look even nicer. Now, will I ever go play Rock Legends of the Gobos? Probably not, but it's still cool to see these options and how the PS5 Pro can still be integrated with this one in the first place. So even more brand new cool technology tied on in. So give me your thoughts and comments on everything on the video itself. We're on the Twitter and Twitch room down below if you guys want to follow. And for all the bonus giveaway entries, check down below. And if you guys want to pick up your PS5 Pro as well, use the link down below. I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow for some more brand new videos and also play some Call of Duty.